to a special edition of the CK podcast. I'm your host, Leo Biaz. I'm excited, y'all, because it's baseball playoff time. And even though the A's are losing right now 3-0 as I'm speaking and I'm watching it to the left of me, I hope they come back. 2 outs, top of the fifth. They need to play better, plain and simple. I'm not going to get into too much of A's, too much of Raiders, Niners today because I really want to focus on Victor Oladipo and him saying that he wants to move on. And I know a lot of you guys are like, "Wow, man, the Kings should trade for Victor Oladipo and Myles Turner and all these stuff." So the question of the show is, should the Kings trade for Victor Oladipo or Myles Turner, or neither? Should they go in a different direction? I'll answer that in a little bit. I'll give you guys some background, some stats, information on Victor and on Myles Turner on why or why not I like each player or why I don't like each player. We'll get into that. Not trying to be on here too long. I know I have some phone calls today. The number is in the description if you want to join the conversation. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe right now. Hit that like button or dislike button if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys so much. Make sure to get your CK merch. Links are in the bio. If not, you guys know where to go. teespring.com/Cowbell Kingdom for your merch. Also, huge shout out again to Valley Tire Center for always being a loyal supporter of the Cowbell Kingdom platforms. And right now they're having amazing deals on Toyo and Cooper tires. Make sure you guys hit them up, or if you need an oil change, or if you just need to lift your truck or any type of repair, Valley Tire Center has your back. Let's get into this, y'all. Should the Kings trade for Victor Oladipo or Myles Turner? And the question is, I would trade for Victor Oladipo if I am new head honcho of the Sacramento Kings, the decision maker, Monte McNair. Then I would do everything I can to get Victor Oladipo, even though he has not been the same player since that, 2017-2018 season, where he averaged 23 points a game, 5.2 rebounds a game, 4.3 assists a game. He won most improved, was first team all defense, third team all NBA. Hell of a season. I still remember it, man, because I was traveling to, I think, Southern California, and E-Man and I were watching the Cavs and the Pacers, where they went, I think it was 7 games, and it was a hell of a game, and Victor Oladipo gave LeBron and them boys all they can handle. Unfortunately, Pacers fell short, but it is what it is, man. That dude is, when he's healthy, he's a hell of a basketball player. He's a hell of a basketball player. And I know last 2 years have been tough for him, been really tough, but, you know, things happen sometimes. So let's go over past 2 years of what we've seen from him, and he hasn't played much, right? After his great year where he played 75 games, he only played 36 games, started off 36, still averaged 18.8 per game, 5.6 rebounds, 5.2 assists, so his assists went up in year number 2 with the Pacers, but he only played 36 games, and you guys already know that availability is it's a thing that you need, because in the NBA, availability is a skill set. Being able to play games is a skill set. I don't care what anybody says, man. Sometimes it's hard in a physical game like basketball to stay healthy. And if you can stay healthy, well, to me, that's a skill. When you play hard like a PJ Tucker, you bring it every single night, 110%, you leave your blood, sweat, and tears on the floor, that's a skill to me. Being able to be ready, stay ready, is a skill to me. So you bring that energy every single night. You play like there's no tomorrow. That's a skill to me. So availability and playing hard is a skill to me. And Victor hasn't been available. This year, 2019-2020 season, he played 19 games. He started 16 of them, 14.5 points, only 3.9 rebounds. So let's say 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Not the best of seasons. Hard to get your flow, your timing down. especially when you come into a team that's playing very well with an all-star and Sabonis, who you got traded with in that OKC deal for Paul George. So as you can see, his career has taken a lump the past 2 years. And there's the question, and it's a fair question. Will Victor Oladipo ever be the same player? It's a hard question to ask, but if you're the Sacramento Kings and you have a guy who has the potential to be an all NBA player, who's already been an all NBA player, and he's only 28 years old, and you're a small market team that has lost and hasn't made the playoffs in 14 years, I believe you go after Victor Oladipo, even though it is extremely risky knowing that his contract situation could backfire on you. So you can give up assets, right? Let's not get into the specifics yet, but say you bring him on and you had to give up valuable assets for him. Well, you're risking him leaving you if he doesn't like it in terms of I wouldn't say like the city, because I think anybody that comes to Sacramento, they'll fall in love with Sacramento, period, and they'll fall in love with the fan base, etc. But in terms of winning and in terms of where this franchise is from a national perspective and how he likes the way things are ran, are things better with Monte McNair at the helm? We'll soon find out, right? We'll soon find out. Those are all the questions that Victor will have to ask himself if he would come here on a 1-year rental. Now, if I'm the Kings, I would demand and try to get an extension. That way, whatever I give up, I am comfortable giving up those assets knowing that Victor will be here in the long run. And then if he doesn't work out, then you have the options to trade him later down the road. So it's risky, man. It's risky. I can see both sides of the argument, right? Where you're like, nah, it's too much. I would have to give up too much to get him, and I'm not willing to lose these assets. Then for him to leave me the following year, especially if we don't make the playoffs, which is a huge possibility. But if he can stay healthy and De'Aaron Fox can stay healthy, I'm guaranteeing the playoffs. Like if those two guys can stay healthy for 82 games, at least play 70 out of the 82, they will make the playoffs. I guarantee it. But that's a big if because, as we all know, Victor hasn't played a lot the past 2 years, and De'Aaron Fox hasn't either. I mean, let's be honest. De'Aaron was banged up all last year, and it's a scary thought. It's a scary thought because it can backfire, and it can set you back even more than you're already right now, essentially. I think the A's got enough outs right now, man. I'm distracted. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm nervous. I'm upset that they're already down, but it is what it is. They got to get their shit together for them to win this game because the White Sox are no joke. The White Sox got a lot of rookies on their team, but you know what? They are a solid, solid squad, man. Shout out to New Music, man. You know me. Got the merch as well. Make sure you support them as well. Yeah. A combine of 55 games. He's played 55 games the past 2 years. That's scary. 55 games the past 2 years. So keep that in mind when you say yes or no, I want Victor Oladipo. There is a lot of risk, but I think it's a high reward if you're the Kings, man. If you're the Kings, it's a high, high reward. If you have to give up the number 12 pick in this year's draft, which I actually like, and maybe another piece and an ancillary piece, then I would do it. But it's tough, man. Like Victor's just so good when he's healthy. He's just so damn good. All NBA player when he's healthy. But will he ever get to that point again? 55 games the past 2 years. It's scary. It's scary. And if you do give up significant pieces for him, and he doesn't, and he doesn't give you his word that he's signing for the long term, and he's on a rental, then it's tough, man. So let's move on to Myles Turner. It's a love-hate relationship with him. I was high originally on him coming into the league, him progressing throughout his career, right? So his first, what was it? His first years, I was looking at his contract, but his first year at age 19, he played 22 minutes a game, averaged 10 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 1.4 blocks. He's always been a solid shot blocker, without question. But he's a mediocre rebounder. I'll be honest. He's a mediocre rebounder. And he's improved. He improved to the point where I said, okay, 2018, 2019 season, I feel like it wasn't enough of a jump. A lot of it is because of the emergence of Sabonis. But at the same time, I can't lie to you guys. I think he's so soft. I think he's an upgrade over a Willie Cauley-Stein. I don't think he's better than Richaun Holmes. I really, really don't. Like, I really, really don't. And I'm giving you guys my honest take. I don't think he's better than Richaun Holmes. When they're both at their highest peak, whatever the highest peak was for Myles Turner, which just seems like it was his second year where he averaged 14.5 points a game. If that was his highest peak, I will take Richaun at his highest peak because Richaun has already proven to be exactly what the Kings need. The problem was he got hurt. He got injured, and it really hurt the team when he went down. So I know Myles is taller, but that doesn't matter because Rashawn's elite defensively. So if you want a combination of a Myles Turner and a Richaun Holmes, I wouldn't mind that. But at what cost do you bring in Myles Turner? To me, Myles Turner is a great backup on a good team. He's a great backup on a good team. He should not be a starter on a good team. That's my take on him. I understand he's only 23, 24 years old. Problem is, he's digressed. He digressed this past year without question. To me, 2018, 2019 season, it wasn't a big of enough jump from the 2017, 2018 season to say, you know what? He's on his way. Like, it wasn't a big jump, okay? When you average a career high 7 point, again, his best year was year number 2, but last year, 7.2 boards a game. What does that tell me? That, again, that you're soft, that you don't put a body on somebody, that you're not that aggressive. I don't have that issue with Richaun Holmes. I know what I'm going to get from Richaun Holmes every single night. Again, with injuries, you want him to stay healthy. I don't think he is that much better, or he's even better than Richaun Holmes. So when people want to bring that up, it's like, okay, cool, he's younger, but it's not like that even matters in terms of a guy that's not going to reach all-star status ever. I feel like I don't think he'll ever be an all-star. So we're talking about an average to above average to good player type guy we're talking about right now. We're not talking about a Victor Oladipo who's been an all-NBA type of guy. So his defense, his shot blocking ability, yes, it's good. I would say that's his best attribute. But at $18 million a year, I don't know about that, man. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. His contract as of right now is $18 million for the next 3 years. So this season, 2021, 2022. I am skeptical of paying a guy who was extremely inconsistent, who was extremely soft, that much money. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of a Myles Turner. I'm just not. Damn, it's the top of the 6th already, man. Top of the 6th, and these damn A's have not gotten theirs together, man. Come on, strike this dude out, bro. 1 out. Let's go. I am not the biggest Myles Turner fan. I'm just not. What's up, Patrick? He says, what's up with Marvin Bagley rapping and not working on his game? Okay. I'll get to that in a little bit. First and foremost, to finish this idea of Myles Turner being a complementary piece playing next to Marvin Bagley. First and foremost, if I want Marvin Bagley to be a Sabonis type player, which I've said multiple times that if he could ever reach that type of status, I would be ecstatic. You understand that Sabonis and that Myles Turner currently don't work together, right? I want you guys to really key in on that idea. Hone in on that idea. They do not work well together right now. I'd rather have Sabonis playing the center position, as I would like for Bagley to be playing the center position. He's a center to me. He's not a power forward. He really can't extend the floor yet. And even if he could, I would prefer, for my philosophy, to have a strong wing next to Marvin Bagley. A guy who is a 3-4, who is versatile, who can switch. That's where I would prefer to put Marvin Bagley rather than put him at the 4 and then have a 5 who is extremely inconsistent. That makes no sense to me at all. On paper, it makes sense. But when you actually watch these guys play, I mean, you have to spend time watching these guys play. And I've watched enough of Marvin Bagley, enough of Myles Turner to tell you that long term, if that's your idea, that's what makes you a losing franchise. When you want to put these two guys together and think it's going to work out, like, no, it's not going to work out. Myles Turner needs to be your backup center, period. And at $18 million, damn it, they just hit a single. And at $18 million, that's not enough. All right, that's a single, 2 outs. Single, 2 outs. So let's get to what Patrick said about Marvin Bagley. I'll say this. I think a lot of people look too much into it and they think about it way too much and they got too much time on their hands when they say, oh, man, you should be focusing on basketball. And no, man, these dudes got their lives. There's 24 hours a day. You telling me that you can't do what you love outside of another thing that you love and still be great at both? Damian Lillard has proven to be that and much more for a long, long time. What we don't know is how hard Marvin Bagley is. Now, he may or may not be doing it, but I'm assuming that he is working hard because he needs to be working hard on this game. But I don't want to jump to conclusions and say, you know what, he's only working on his rap game and improving on that side of his life and not focusing on basketball. I think that's a bunch of baloney. It's happened a lot to guys like Lonzo Ball and even Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo was an artist. I don't know if you guys know this, but Victor Oladipo has a great voice, first and foremost. I have listened to his music on Spotify. I'm going to tell you what, I like his music. I think he's a stud. And I'm sure he gets in the studio and he also puts out songs. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't know why you guys always want to just talk shit and say, oh, man, he's doing too much in the studio. No, like, you don't know how many hours he's put in or not put in the gym. Don't jump to conclusions and tell me that he's just working on his rap game just because you only see things that he's trying to put out and promote. Now, obviously, he's going to put the stuff out because he loves music. So my point is, don't jump to conclusions and tell me that he's not working hard on his game. I believe he is. And he needs to. Or working on his body, his strength, whatever it is. Putting the time in to hone in his skills and to improve in basketball. I believe he's doing it. Work ethic from people that I've spoken to has never been his issue. I've told you guys the biggest issue in his camp is his father. He's a great, great father. I just think he has too much of a big influence on him right now. And he has really, when Dave was here, he had a lot of say, which affected a lot of the things, man, because obviously Vlade drafted him over Luka. You got all that pressure. You had so many narratives and so many storylines combined behind closed doors. And his father wasn't the best of help because he would make things worse on so many things. Brandon Williams being there, taking his side, and sides were taken. And that's how losing starts, man. That's how you get a name nationally, of a laughing stock because of how you run your program. Vivek has allowed this to go on for too long, and hopefully it changes, man. I'm hoping that with this fresh start with the new GM, that it changes, that things are not leaked out, that things get kept in house, and that's how a winning organization runs their program. Okay, that's how it should be, and that's me. Then out, yes, sir, got that out, man. Man, these A's better step up, man. I'm telling you right now, Minnesota's up 1-0 too on Houston. So Doc Rivers, right? Doc Rivers got canned after he was supposedly supposed to be he was supposed to stay, but their owner wants a different voice. Makes sense. Makes completely sense, especially knowing that Doc Rivers has choked a lot in the fourth quarter with the Clippers and with the Celtics. So I can't be, I can't say that I'm shocked because I saw this coming. I was just shocked it didn't happen the following day. Hey, but it happened. So now he's a very good coach. I just don't know if he's the guy that can take you to the helm. But if you're the Kings, you just trying to get to the playoffs. And I know Doc Rivers will get you to the playoffs. But that's not going to happen because they already said that Luke is coming back. And from a financial standpoint, which I've said 1,000 times, I've told you guys, I don't see them canning Luke because they would have to pay, say hypothetically, if they hire Doc Rivers, which is not going to happen, but you have to pay Doc his money, which would be a lot to come to Sacramento, and then Luke's money, which is a lot, So you're kind of left, and then with the pandemic and not potentially having fans again, that's tough, man. That's a tough sell. Now I would do it. It's easy to say because I'm not Vivek and the minority owners. But I would let Monte bring in his own guy, whoever that is. If it's Doc, if it's Mike D'Antoni, if it's Kenny Atkinson, if it's Nate McMillan, any of these dudes, whoever his guy is, he should be able to bring in his own guy. Period. Rashawn Holmes is good. We don't need Turner. Facts. So, what price is high for Oladipo? Hield and Bagley? Is that too much to pay? That's a good question. I'll answer that in a little bit. Pretty sure Oladipo won Mask Singer. Marvin is a human being and should be able to do things that make him happy. Bradley Beal. Bagley is good. He needs to spend time eating more chicken. Okay. Chicken wings. Fox and Bradley Beal. Trade Buddy and Bagley for Beal. Bradley Beal. It'd be nice to have Beal playing with Fox. If Beal Beal deal won't work, then try to get Victor. If he comes, we making the playoffs for sure. No way in hell he won't make it to the playoffs. I know we still have Walton as a coach, but I would love to have D'Antoni. He could make Fox more of an all-star. We could see love his system. I've said that 1,000 times because he puts his guards in the best situations to succeed, and that's a fact. He puts his guards in the best situations to succeed and excel in their roles, which then really patents their stats, patents their value, gives them confidence, and that's how they take the next level. I would love that. I would love Mike D'Antoni on the squad. Thoughts on OG Anunoby? As I've said 1,000 times, that's a guy that I would go after. 1,000%. I would try to go after this dude, man. He would help out so much. And if there's an organization that could get the best out of somebody, say player development, it's the Raptors. And they would really, really love to have a guy like a Marvin Bagley in their system. And I think if it's somebody that can do it, there are a few teams, obviously, like the Miami Heat, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Raptors, and the Spurs to some extent. But the Raptors would really, really do a great job with the Marvin Bagley. Do a great job with the Marvin Bagley. Mike D'Antoni is a perfect Kings coach if he can use Fox and Buddy to their max. If we get all these type of guys, if we get all these guys, how will we know that Luke doesn't ruin their careers? Who do you want the Kings to draft? So with Doc Rivers, just to cases or to end this topic, with Doc Rivers, I think he would take the Kings to the playoffs. But again, they're not going to hire him. They're not going to hire a different coach. One out for the A's. Damn it. They're not going to hire a different coach. And you just got to live with it. Like, you just got to hope for the best. And you just got to hope that Luke realizes what he did wrong this past year, learn from it, knowing that he got another shot at it. And if he does, I believe he is more than capable of being a great coach. There is no reason why Luke Wong can't be a great coach. No reason at all. He grew up in a basketball family. He's a good basketball mind. He just needs to just put his pride aside, play to the strengths of his personnel, and everything will take care of itself, man. Play to the strengths of your personnel, and everything will take care of itself. Why? Because there will be an added pressure this upcoming season that where he thought, I have time, I got 4 years, I'm gonna cultivate this team, I'm gonna do things my way. I got Vladdy got the extension, Vladdy brought me in, so I understood his mindset. But now, hey man, there's a brand new dude in charge, and guess what? He has a pressure to win basketball games. So if you don't do what Dave Yeager did, which was change up the the entirety of the team, because the first year, if you remember, they had Zebo and they were playing super slow. Next year, they went from like slowest to fastest, and they gave the keys to De'Aaron Fox. Now you know you have De'Aaron Fox, and with De'Aaron Fox coming into his 4th year, knowing he's going to be even better, knowing he's going to be a much improved version of himself, you must continue to give him the keys to the organization, and you must allow him to run an up-tempo offense, because that's going to get the team easy buckets. And they kind of already know what Luke's system is, whatever that was, because, I still to this day, it's just mind-boggling to me. But he's going to have to learn, make in-game adjustments. He's had enough time to learn, and I believe he is more than capable of learning, and I hope for the best. Like, I'm seriously hoping for the best. I like Luke as a person. Great characteristics. I mean, good personality, good guy. I just hope he makes the necessary adjustments and puts his team in the best situation to succeed, to finally break this awful. God, man, do the A's haven't had a hit or what? God, to break. To end this drought of the playoffs. Apologize, y'all. Apologize. To end this drought of the playoffs. So, what would you give up for Victor Oladipo? I think that was one of the questions. Victor Oladipo. I think they're going to ask for the number 12 pick. I think they will ask for it, and you're going to have to give that up, which I think is a huge asset, especially when you have guys like the Neesmiths, the Bays, right? The Kyra Lewis. Man, can you imagine Kyra Lewis and De'Aaron Fox, the Speed Demons? You just put Speed Demons everywhere. Speed Demons, Sacramento, Speed Demons. That'd be dope. Just an idea, though. Just an idea. I like Neesmith a lot. I like Bay a lot. Obviously, my favorite player is Danny Avdia. I think Danny's going to be a stud, man. If they can trade down for him, I'd love that too. I love Danny Avdia. No news on Bogey as of yet. Last time I spoke to him was a few days after the bubble ended. I haven't spoke to him since, but he's out there chilling, man. I mean, that's what you do when you're in the off season. He's in Serbia. I hope he's having a great time. Charlie says there's a Jalen Jacoby interview where they ask Fox if Vladdy's asked him who he wanted to play with before the draft. He said yes. He said layout said preferred Bagley. He said he preferred Bagley in an interview. Huh. I check that out. Make sure to send me the link on Instagram on DM. Not like That why would he want to go to the Kings when he said he only play? May I request a new topic? Power forward position. Who do we keep? MB3, Giles, Parker. I mean, you got to keep as of today. I mean, you got to keep MB3 just because he was number 2 pick. But who's the more talented out of those three? Harry Giles is more talented. I think we just have to draft someone instead of trading that draft pick. Okay. Power forward. Jabari Parker would be your power forward. I believe Giles and Bagley are centers. So that's just me, though. Would you want Jeremy Grant on the Kings? I would like to see that, but I don't. They don't have money because they're gonna have to sign Bogey. Hey, call in, man. I mean, you said you were calling in. Go ahead and call in, bro. Any Giles news? None yet. I think some of the questions is: do the Kings on Instagram? Do you think the Kings should be playing Kyle Guy more? Not as of right now. No. If a Carl, Vassell, Neesmith are all gone before 12, who are you drafting? Who is available is what I would say. But if Kyra Lewis is there, I wouldn't mind drafting Kyra. Brian Cruz, Philadelphia Eagles. What's up, man? What's up, dog? Parker has a player option. He does. Tabari has a player option, and he's most likely gonna, opt in, especially with a pandemic. Uh, what are the odds of a Hield for Myles Turner trade? Man, if they trade Buddy Hield for Myles Turner, I'd be pissed. He gonna give up a top 3 shooter for a mediocre big man who is soft? Come on, bro. Stop it. Now, if you trade Hield for Victor Oladipo, is a different thing. But if you trade Hield for Myles Turner, something along those lines where those are the main pieces, I'd be pissed. That is not what you should do. Can you see the Kings going after Josh Richardson for more defense? I can see that, but it depends on what the package is. I like him. What's up, Don Mitchell? What's up, big boy? Gosh, man. These damn Athletics, huh? Top of the 7th, 3-0, 1 out. They need 2 outs to get out of this inning. Ah, man, they frustrate me, bro. Like, what is going on, man? Yeah, so I'm not high on Turner. I've gone over Turner. I've gone over Depot. I've gone over Doc Rivers. So, to make things clear, if it was up to me, if you give up Buddy Hield, I would not want to give up the number 12 pick. So, if you give up Buddy Hield, I think for them, who Buddy to me would fit perfectly with that team. He's a great shooter. You got a great scorer out there. Got a good big. Got one of the best underrated guards in the NBA. And Malcolm. I think he fits just right in. I think he fits in just right. And especially if Mike D'Antoni goes over there. Woo-wee. You got something. You got something for sure. Michael Garcia says, let's hope, Leo. Let me know where and when, brother. Send me that invite on the DMs on Instagram, brother. For sure. I'm down to hoop, man. I'm dying inside, bro. Every single day that passes by that I don't hoop, at least with other people, like I've occasionally hooped outside my new house, but the rim ain't that high, and again, man, it's just the point is just to get out there and shoot the ball, and get a nice workout. Which when I do shoot, I do get a nice workout because I know how to work out, but I miss playing fives. I miss playing threes. I miss that competitiveness, that back and forth jawing. God diggity, dude. They gave up a double again. 2 outs and a double. What's wrong with this team, man? Playoffs and they're just a different team. And I was trying to defend them. No. Oh my gosh. What about an assistant coaching position? And what did you think of Billy Donovan hire? I liked it. A's are so disappointed in the playoffs. Man, bro, it's facts. 1-1, bottom of the seventh with the Astros and Twins. Best of three, man. Best of three. Oladipo is too injury prone. Yeah, and I've said that, man. So you watch the first half of the show. Uh, do you think Monty McNair will be aggressive this offseason? I hope so. He needs to be. Do you like Josh Green from Arizona? Very good 3-and-D player that shows a lot of flashes of being able to make play. Yeah, I like him. I've done a profile on him as well on Cowboy Kingdom and Basketball Zone. Bro, first of all, Hield is not worth $24 million. Hield is worth $24 million if you put him on the right squad. Like, if you put him on the contender, like, if you put him on the Lakers, put him on the Mavericks, you telling me he's not going to average 20, 21 points efficiently with playmakers like a LeBron or Luka Doncic that will highlight him, that will elevate his game even more? Come on, man. You drunk. You drunk. Can you imagine that? Playing with Luka Doncic, playing with LeBron James? My goodness. That'd be crazy. Oh, boy. Dallas is playing the next game against the A's, right? Fudge. Bro, they got to come back and win this game, man. They got to come back and win this game. So, Victor Oladipo, let me see. Where's his? So I think it's, what is it? 20? What's his contract? His number is 21 million. So the Kings it makes sense. I mean, the Kings have the right pieces to trade for him, but again, it's more of that. Did they get him out? Yeah, they did. All right. A's got out of this inning, man. They're alive. The A's are breathing. They have a little bit of life left. So back to Oladipo. He's at $21 million. After this season, this upcoming season, he's gonna be a free agent. So unless you can get a sign and trade for him, that's super risky, man. And I don't know if he'll even want to do that because he's gonna want to test the waters and be like, well, I like it or I don't like it here. So I see his perspective. I think a heel trade works, man. I mean, but if you trade Buddy for Myles Turner, God, that'd be awful, man. That'd be awful. Remember when we offered Beverly 2-year, $40 million deal? That's pretty funny. Buddy's a great shooter, but has too many holes in his game. Low basketball IQ and shouldn't be handling the rock for our team. Again, he should not be handling the rock. 1,000% agree with that. And that's a coaching issue because he should not put him in those situations. Good coaches don't do that. And that's where I'm hoping that Luke learns. Just because you sign the guy to $24 million, which it doesn't kick into this year anyway, it doesn't mean that you overexceed him with other roles. Like, oh, let me make you do something that you're not good at just because we gave you money. When the reality is the spectrum of this NBA, of this new world, of this new league is you prioritize on shooting. Look at the Miami Heat. They got elite shooters out there, right? I mean, all these dudes are going to get paid one way or another. And Buddy Hield not only shoots threes, but he scores the basketball. He has a mid-range game. He's a scorer. None of these shooters who are considered elite shooters, right? Like the Duncan Robinsons, like the what's his name from the Wizards? White boy. European kid. Slipping on his name, but these guys are legit just shooters. Buddy can actually play make in the pick and roll, even though he's made mistakes. He's made a lot of good plays out of that pick and roll, and he can actually score the ball, which is that's why you paid him that money because he averaged over 20 points a game. Now, is that his fault? Or is that just the lack of talent on his team? See, you have to ask yourself all these questions. Yes, he's awful defensively. Yes, he's not a great playmaker, but he can playmake as a secondary option, as a secondary playmaker, not initiating your offense. That's on Luke Walton. And now, again, that's on Luke Walton. You don't tell him to playmake off your bench or to initiate your offense. That's awful coaching, first and foremost. Let's go, A's. Come on, boys. Would you do Buddy for Marcus Smart? Yes, I would. Otto Porter is a free agent this year. Wait, is he a free agent this year? I don't know. Double check on that. I'm not sure he is. Galloway, Wood, and SVI are available too. David Bertans is what you meant. Yep, Bertans is what I meant. What's the phone number to call in? Bro, the number is in the description box. But I'll give it to you, though. It's 209-565-3079. We'll end it on that call, bro, because I'm trying to watch the end of this game. We'll end it with that call, 209-565-3079. Again, that's 209-565-3079 to call in the show. All right. Still pisses me off that he put Buddy in this as a primary ball handler. It literally common sense to run him off the screens. Yeah, bro, that's frustrating, brother. That is frustrating to me. Bro, I'll say like 1,000 times. But did we hit the ball? There it is. First single of the game, I think. Did the first single of the game? Ooh. Here comes the A's. Uh-oh. You got 1 minute to call in. Here we go. What's up, big dog? Welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Good, man. I'm pretty depressed watching this A's game, but hopefully they turn around. They just got the first single, so let's go.
Well, I'm actually in this weird contingency where my teams are all over the place. I was actually born and raised in Sacramento, but my brother decided to become an Angels fan. He said, "We're in Sacramento. That's the capital of California. Therefore, we're Angels fans." So my teams are the Sacramento Kings, the Niners, and the Angels. Anywho, can I change the topic up a little bit? I'm a little bit nervous. You know when I call and I'm really nervous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let me change up the topic a little bit. I put on several posts on Facebook yesterday, and I said this is where the Kings currently are at. This is the problem with the Kings right now. Putting players aside for a moment, by far their greatest weakness is their defense. The Kings' defense is atrocious, bad, terrible.
Yep.
Except for Rashawn Holmes.
Yep, 1,000%.
He's like the one exception where he is the top. You can look at the stat in the NBA analysis.
He's really good.
All that stuff. He's top 5. Okay. Everybody else
is mediocre.
This team, at best, mediocre at best. This team is not going to be a contender unless their defense improves leaps and bounds. And with this new GM coming in and all of that, somehow this needs to be taken into account.
Or real quick, or unless you're the Rockets. Unless you're the Rockets and you have a high-powered offense, which the Kings have the potential to be, but Luke didn't see it that way, then things change. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even know. I would say that the Kings' defense is even far worse than Rockets. And so something's got to drastically change. And we've argued in the past, and we could probably still argue today and some more, whether that falls on the players or whether that falls on the coaching. In your opinion, the players can be exposed, but the coaching could do a little more. But this just isn't going to work out. And we can look at teams position per position, but take the shooting. I mean, our perimeter defense has been absolutely atrocious. And who does that fall on? That falls on the point guard, the shooting guard, and the small forward. And anything, the shooting guard position's been weak, from Ben McLemore to what we've got now. Buddy Hield and both Bogey and Bogdanovic are great offensive players. I am not dogging their offensive game whatsoever. Buddy could average 20, he could average 30, whatever, and they both could shoot 40+% from the three-point line, which is totally great. But both of their defenses are pretty bad.
They're awful. They're awful.
They're awful. And they're awful on two aspects, too. We're talking about individual defense and team defense. They're both bad. When you talk about individual defense, I look at the players. But when you talk about team defense, I also look at the coaching a little more. And we could probably do some pretty good analysis of what we saw in the playoffs. I saw excellent team defense. The Denver Nuggets, the Miami Heat, maybe even the Jazz and Lakers to some extent.
Yeah, but the Miami Heat have guys. The Heat have guys who they have the bodies to play defense, and the Kings just don't. And
they have the but what I see too, what the Kings have never been able to do is rotate well. And when I watch Denver play, their rotation, the snap, one guy moves and the next guy moves and plays. It's excellent. The Kings are like the people who try to play musical chairs and the people that get out first. They have no idea where to go. I mean, the Kings are like the worst team on rotating whatsoever. They're completely always lost. I'm like, cannot a coach or coaching staff come in and step in and do something about that? I mean, the Greg Popovich teams with the Spurs, what's her name? Katie Hunter now, something made a great comment when we were playing with the Spurs 5 years ago. She said, when we play the Spurs, you don't just get through their first line of defense. They have like a second line and a third line. And that's because their players are rotating back and place. You get past one guy, and then there's a few other guys that rotate back and place. But in any case,
real quick, what's your conclusion?
Yeah.
Like, I think his argument is, as I've said it, as I've said, this team is not built to be a top 10 team, and that's what Luke wanted to be. I think Luke had the idea that he would have time. Now, hey, welcome to the new world, right? Where it's not what you've done in the past, it's what you have done for me lately. And I feel like he thought he had time. He didn't have time, and now he may have to go what Dave did, which again, the first year Dave was under. We had Zebo, slowest team in the NBA, was off with.
I don't know if the Kings could afford player-wise, playing-wise, both Buddy Hield and Bogdanovic. If we have them on the court, it's great offensively, but they're so bad defensively that brings us down just as much, if not more. It creates a big hole in the offense. I mean, we've always been giving up 3-point shots to our opponents like crazy. So I just think that needs to be reconsidered. And I would like to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, again, man, to me, it's simple. Like, the Rockets are the best example of it, right? Where if you have a great offensive team, you play to the strengths of your team. I'm not saying I don't believe in defense. I've never said that. I'm under the impression that you think I think that, but the problem is whatever my hand was dealt. So if you dealt me with all these gifted offensive players, or let's reword that. These good offensive players with a very good guard who can get whatever he wants in transition, then I would play to the strengths of that. And the problem is that Luke wanted to play like this team was the Raptors or the Heat or the Lakers or the Celtics. The problem is he doesn't have that personnel to play that type of style of play. And that's one of my biggest frustrations. It's like, play to the strengths. I don't care if you have a system. Your system won't work if you don't have the bodies to play that system, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but can I intervene by saying, yes, you play to the cards that you're dealt, but now in the off season, this is the point in the game where we get to either, display cards or exchange cards and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as I've stated before, what direction will you take? What direction will they take? Will they change the identity of the team? Because if they don't change their players, they have to change the coach. Because obviously he doesn't understand how to play to this team's, to the construction of this roster strength. And if that's the case, you must make a change now. If you want to switch and give Luke, if you want to give Luke the pieces of how he wants to play, which it seems like he wants guys like the OG Anunubis, like the Norman Powells, like these tough, gritty type players, then I'm okay with that as well. But don't tell me that you should not be top 5 in pace, that you should not be top 5 in points per game with this roster. It is beyond ridiculous that you were not in those categories. You were a year before where you won 39 games, so play to the strengths of your team. If not, step down. It's really that simple. Like, if you don't like the construction of the team, then you must step down. And again, I understand that Luke was under the impression that he had time, and he was trying to run a lot of sets. The problem with the sets was, which is a whole different conversation, is going to open a whole can of worms, is that after they run their first action, they all just so if the opposing team breaks off their first action, which happens a lot, they just sit there and watch, especially on the weak side, and there's no ball movement, rather than running another play or even a second or third or fourth action, they just stand there. And those are all coaching. Like, those are coaching things that can be easily fixed, and that they weren't fixed.
Yeah.
So I take offense to that. So that's my issue with that.
I actually agree with that, with the fact that the Kings offense last year could have been improved, and there were easy fixes on the coaching end. But my concern, highlight the word concern, is the defense. The defense is just so atrocious. I don't know how we could ever be contenders the way it is. And my concern is, I recognize Buddy Hield and Bogdanovich. I recognize their offensive talent. And I would hate and be very sad to give either or both of those up. However, on the same token, I can't imagine our team being good keeping both those players, being that Buddy Hield would not be happy with the minutes, or you would have to move one to the small forward position, or whatever it may be. I just don't see this working out, us having both of them. Not just for the minutes issue, but by the fact that they're both very weak defenders, and they create a huge hole in our defense. And this is where I think we're in the card game where we start to consider, do we want to keep, both Buddy and Bogey and all that other stuff? How is this going to work? Because we need to get better defensively. Even if they're playing at their A game offensively, Buddy and Bogey, there's still an issue with their defense, and that's being that our team defense is so bad,
and as sad as this has been, like, as sad as it to say this, your offense dictates your defense a lot of the time, especially for these NBA players coming into the league, because that's what gives them the energy to keep playing basketball. Like, how do I know? Like, for example, even at a recreational standpoint, when I score the ball and my offensive game is rolling, it's just common sense, and you have the tendencies to play harder on defense, and you see that a lot with Buddy Hield. I just feel like it's not a lack of them not trying hard on defense. It's just a lack of them not being able to play defense because they're not athletically gifted like that, and their IQ is not very good defensively, which is another issue. But it's not like they don't try. Like they genuinely do. It's just that they're just not that good. Period.
Well, I mean, that's up to them individually to take care of that. But we can't be contented with the way they play defense.
Agreed, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in. The damn camera died about 10 minutes ago. I don't think they heard about 5 minutes of us. So it now switched me to like the built-in microphone. That's on me, y'all.
That's all.
But it's all. I mean, they pretty much heard the entirety of the thing. I appreciate you calling in, bro, and I'll let you guys know when I go live again, man. All right, brother.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So that's going to do it, y'all. The audio is obviously not the same. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and I'll see you guys on the next one.